Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. KR recently gave out a lot of new contents, new gears, new dungeons, 4th path, and so on. Ara and Luciel 4th path are coming soon. But this makes me wonder, what will come next after all the 4 paths are done? I kinda feel like Elsword is in a bottleneck phase. Hope they will spice things up a little bit beside adding new raids and more farmings. But today, we are back to the viewer's favorite series, Character Review. And after all the wait, it's finally Raven's turn. Raven is one of the oldest characters other than the original trio. He was first introduced in the dungeons of Altera, the Black Crowd as a stage boss. And when he was first released on Acer server, it wasn't easy to unlock as a playable character. In order to unlock Raven, you actually need to purchase his card with KC, or by doing quests to acquire him. This is also the same case with Eve. Thank God they changed that up. Raven's unique system is Anger of Raven. While waking, an assault call will appear around Raven. It will react to Raven's skill casting. It sends out a one-hit attacking along with each skill cast, and it will help reducing 70% damage for a very short duration when Raven is faced towards incoming attack. And when Raven awaking with 3 beats, a small electric aura will appear around him. It can damage mobs and grant Raven 5 MP per hit. It's a pretty standard unique system in general. It did a pretty good job on PvP. Okay, so let's dig into all of his current paths. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification. Follow me on Instagram in case you missed out the updates again. Also join our Discord server for any in-game help, and check my Twitch channel too. I will be doing streams here and there as well. First path, Furious Blade. FB has earned my favorite of Raven due to his theme and design. He's such a smooth class while playing it. Every skills of him is so clean and fast. Just like all those samurai characters in other games. Cool and furious. His clearing is the best within all Raven. All of his shockwave skills have solid damage and distance. Makes his clearing smooth and easy. Everything just lights up like Fruit Ninja in early game. And if your gear is solid enough, you'll do the same thing in mid to end game dungeons. When it comes to bossing, FB has solid stealth buff to amplify his damage. And along with his passive, CD won't be a huge problem when you have the right skill rotations. He's a class with great scaling potentials. He became a beast when you have high ERP on him. I'm talking about 300 or more in order to become decent. And after the mini rework FB received it at the few patches ago, he turns to one of the top tier physical DPS class in the meta now. FB finally rises again after all these years sitting on the bench. Though this great clearing and bossing are trade-off from his mana and support abilities. His mana management is so bad throughout all phases. Since he doesn't have a solid mana related passive, with his high mana usage, potions and healers are critical points when it comes to raiding. Supporting wise, FB only got one debuffing skill. Makes his mid to end game farming extremely hard if it's not the DPS himself. So FB have the smoothest clearing within all Ravens. Solid damage against bosses. Smooth and clean casting style makes you hands off HQs easily. One of the top tier physical DPS class in meta. But he has a horrible mana management. Self-buff management is critical when it comes to bossing. Highly relies on rotation and ERP build. Not so new player friendly due to his lack of supporting for raids. Even though his gear requirement is fairly high, I still have a lot of fun playing as FB for general dungeons. I can only use one Chinese word to describe them. Song! second path, Rage Hearts. RH is canon path of Raven in main story. His hair turns to white due to the reliance on my sword arm influence. RH damage is actually very strong. I'm so surprised last player is maining him after I dig into his kit. He's kind of a physical version of FB, solid damage and clearing. Well, his clearing might not as good as FB due to his skill form and casting speed. He has less linear clearing skills, and his casting speed is a bit slow until third job passive to fix it. But man, his bossing damage is crazy. Unlike FB relies on one skill for a CDR, RH got a whole kit for a skill cooldown decrease. He will CDR when casting skill at mid-air. His skills percentage might not seem that high, but with defense ignore, fast casting, and super low CD, he's definitely a beast for bossing. Imagine if you have high ERP on him, he probably rotate one cycle of skill by only pressing a few keys. And also he doesn't need to care much about self-buff since it's all built in. Just need to awaken more to maintain your buff, simple as that. But RH faces similar issues as FB. His mana is not great too, but luckily he got little help from his passive. Makes him slightly better when spamming skills. Supporting wise, he's also just a small debuffer. Also not very raid welcome unless you're DPS to stealth. So RH is decent on clearing. Very good bossing damage for all size mobs. One of the top tier magical DPS in meta now. Great passive for refreshing CDR. But since his passive requires him to cast skills at mid-air, makes piloting a critical point when you want to play him smoothly. Super armor is very important too. Also not a new player friendly class due to a similar reason as FB. Refreshing CD at mid-air is such a fun time while playing as RH. He's like the Dynasty Warrior character which can slay the map out by using all the skills. Try him out if you want to burst the boss out. Third path, Nova Imperator. I guess KOG just love to see Raven burst out all the mobs in general. NI is another DPS class of Raven, but this path has somewhat more supporting abilities in Ravens. NI clearing is significantly slower than the other Ravens due to his skill casting. The range is not big as the other as well. Bossing wise, NI is still very solid, but he requires a well positioning and the use of his overhead system in this path. And I sacrificed some HP to trade off big damage, similar to Bloody Queen, but it capped it at 40% health, so you won't have much hard time to pay attention on health bar, even NI is a self-destruction style character. Similar to all Ravens, he also got CDR skills, but the real fun part is neither his clearing or bossing of his kit, but his insane mana management. He was like all Raven before third job. Requires a lot of mana and potion. But the game changing part is his third job passive. He actually regens a lot of mana when heat detection stacks. The passive originally only helps regen 20 mana per second, but after the rework not too long ago, this passive skill turned to a mana battery passive. It helps regen 200 mana every time NI casts a skill when under the buff, and most importantly, this buff benefits the parties as well. but sadly they nerfed the regen amount in the recent character balance. But it's still a solid one, and his support ability is pretty good as well. Other than the mana recovery part, and I also buff party damage, and it's actually better than some buffer with 2 million CP or lower for buffering aura scaling. Oops. And then I also got 2 debuff as well. Makes him quite useful in both physical and magical parties. So in general, NI has solid flush bossing damage, outstanding mana management for self and parties, useful buff for parties as well. But his casting is the slowest in Raiden. Damaging requires boss sizes and positioning. And his skill kit also lack of defense ignore unlike the other Ravens. Also requires skill rotation and ERP if you want to play it smoothly. His infinite mana regen is so good for dungeons clearing. I rarely use potion when I got my buff stacks, but since his buff duration is kind of short, you have to restack it every time when the cutscene's done loading, especially in raids, which is annoying sometimes. Finally, newest path of Raven, Revenant. The Reaper theme sure catch a lot of fan attention upon releasing, and the Awakening mode with the hood on is just furious. So in this path, Raven actually seeks the power from the outer source. Unlike the previous 3 paths, Raven doesn't rely on his Nasort arm in this path. He uses the power of Alterazer to destroy his arm and form a new power with it. That's the reason why RB's skill kit color theme is so different from the rest of Raven. I did love to see what the alternate choices of the rest of L party member makes in the future 4th path. I think those lores are so cool. Gameplay wise, RB is actually more of a damage debuffer than a solid DPS. But don't get me wrong, RB is still a solid damage dealer in general. But if it compares to within all Ravens, he's just weaker, that's all. His clearing is pretty solid. Linear clearing, aerial clearing, he got it all. He also gets some buff at the coming character balance, but his skill percentage is a bit low in all Ravens. He needs to apply a lot of buff and debuff from his kit before actually damaging. And that's actually the core playstyle of RB. A great debuffer with damage, and his mana management is not bad as well. He will regen mana upon using special active towards debuff mobs, and he also get a NPR passive as well. Makes him less suffer from skill spamming. Supporting is his major feature. Magical and physical defense debuff even the target is super armored. Elemental debuff, critical damage debuff, physical damage taken debuff, boss damage reduced buff, and the orb RB created can help party boost skills damage, all speed increase, random skills CDR, HP recovery, and on-hit mana regen boosting. And with the Revenge Claw skills, you can extend the effect easily. RB gained a V button passive, not just boosting the C stage to level 3, reset all of his Celestia skills, helping the skill rotation even easier. His kit is a bit complex, but with more practice, you should get used to him very quickly. So RB is good at clearing. Stable bossing on all size mobs. Doesn't require much gear and ERP setup if compared to the other Ravens. Party welcoming due to his excellent support abilities. Though a lot of current players still kind of don't get how good is his support now, but he's still new, so he will be needed more often in the future. But his damage is not burst enough. Makes him not the top tier DPS class like other Ravens. The skill kit is a bit complicated. You might need some more time to figure it out. I see some players complain about the new path of Raven is not OP or burst enough, but just take a look with all the other 3 Ravens. Do we really need another DPS Raven still? A lot of mid-tier Ravens struggling with getting into parties since they are not fully built to DPS. Orvi is actually here to save them. Makes him go through mid to end game easier. And Orvi actually has great potential on scaling since he has fast casting and debuff passive. Adding Orvi to Raven family will help Raven mains have more options to become support or DPS, instead of pure DPS or none. And can you really say no to his awesome design and theme? Raven is more of an advanced character in general, has more requirements on gear and ERP settings, but his damage is really awesome. I'm actually very impressed after looking into his paths. I hope adding RB to Raven family will help enlarging the player base of Ravens. If you're looking for a bursty damage character with cool design, Raven Daddy is your choice. So will you guys try out Raven? Also, what is the prediction on the upcoming 4 paths? Let me know on the comment below. Like and share if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe so you won't miss out my latest video and my posts. I will see you all on next one.